Good morning guys, welcome back. I'm down here at the allotment today because I've got some more beds to weed over, prepare them for the growing season. I'm also going to be down here today planting out my two different varieties of broad beans. That's the Sutton and the Giant Atlantic. I've also got some kale to plant out and some sugar snap peas. And also in this video I'm going to be mentioning a TikTok series that a work colleague of mine is doing, Michael Trod. He's doing this TikTok series at the moment. I'll mention that a little bit more in the video because he's going to be using some of my produce. So a lot to be getting on this morning, and also doing my rollers Walden, and I'll come back to you guys in a minute. Okay, so these are the two varieties of broad beans that I'm going to be planting out. They're on the left, as you can see, and then on the right I've got the kale and the peas. I should have said, not sugar snap peas. So I always keep these sort of poly trays. They're really good. Charles Dowding, who you know that I subscribe to, he recommends that if you ever get any from a garden centre, keep hold of them. So over the years, where I have kind of bought some stuff from the garden centre to have that wide variety and range, where I'm waiting for stuff to sprout from sowing. So I always keep the white trays. So the variety of kale that I've got is called Capral. That's spelt C-A-P-R-A-L. I'm going to be growing that this season, and the peas that I'm growing are ones that I always grow every year, and these are Calvin and Wonder. So a variety of kale and a variety of peas that are going to go out into my allotment. I will show you where they're going to go, and then obviously the two varieties of broad bean. The larger pots have got the Sutton in, and the smaller pots have got the Giant Atlantic, because I didn't do too many of those. They're going to go into the ground as they are, because those cardboard pots are basically biodegradable. They will break down into the soil, and eventually they will turn into compost. So they'll go straight in like that. I won't take them out, and I've got my special tool to make the holes. I will show you that as well. I'll also show you the 3 raised beds that I'm also going to finish off, possibly 4, and other bits and pieces. So I'll crack on, and then I'll come back to you guys when I'm about to put these lot in the ground. Right guys, I'm stood by one of the raised beds that is going to take one of my varieties of broad beans. I've got quite a few of the Sutton, so it may take 2 raised beds. So I've got obviously this one prepared from last week. As you can see, I've got my tool that I'm going to be using to dig the hole into the ground, ready to take the broad bean. So, and I've got a pot by the side of it, so when I dig it out I can just whack the soil into that pot, and then put it back onto the raised bed when I'm done. I don't know how many how many broad bean plants this raised bed is going to take, but as I've said, I've got other raised beds that I have prepared, so it may take the rest of the Sutton, and then I'll pick out another raised bed, probably a small one, that I've got prepared to take the giant exhibition. And then fingers crossed I'll have a nice lot of broad beans this year. That should give me a summer harvest, a summer crop, around about July time, fingers crossed. But as you can see, they're looking really good. They're going to stay in that cardboard pot, and I'll just plant them directly into the soil. So what I'll do, guys, is I'll crack on making the holes, and then I'll get some planted for you, show you how they're going in, and then I'll come back to you when the rest of them are all planted in. So I will swing back round here, guys, and I'll come back to you guys in a minute. Right, guys, as you can see, I've dug all the holes now, and I'm going to plant out my Sutton broad beans. So I'll just show you a couple, and I'll show you how they obviously go in. So take these good healthy pots and plunk them straight into the ground as they are. You can plant, you can push compost in and around them. Just remove some of these bigger stones. I've got compost or the soil in the tub there, and I'll spread that back over the top. So as you can see, the first couple are in. I'm going to finish off, and then I'm going to put a netting over them. I brought a little sort of metal netting type structure that I'm going to hopefully put over the broad beans and my other plants that are going out today, just to protect them. So once these are all done, guys, I'll come back to you and I'll show you what they look like. Okay, guys, that is that raised bed finished off now, and I've put some netting around it. So I brought these little pipes, and they have like silver little clips and then green clips, and what I've done is I've made like 3 tubes, dug them into the ground, covered them with netting, and then put the little plastic clips around the netting. So that's that one done with most of the Sutton broad beans. I've still got about 5 left to go in, and then the rest is all the giant exhibition. So I'm going to put them into another raised bed, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so there we have it, guys. That's the second raised bed planted with the last of the Sutton and the giant exhibition broad beans. Right, guys, I'm going to finish up for the day now. So I'm going to just show you what I've done today. I haven't cleared any of the raised beds I said I was going to clear. So these 3-ish raised beds here, 4, haven't done them today. What I wanted to do is get some plants out that I had ready to come up. So I've got 2 varieties of broad bean out. So I've got the Sutton, as you can see, in this raised bed, and then I've covered it over with mesh. I made a little kind of cage. It's looking really good. And then as I bring you over to this second raised bed, there are the remaining Sutton there, so 6 plants, And then the other variety is the Bunyard's Giant, I think it's Giant Exhibition, these ones. And also covered over with netting. I ran out of the white little poles, so I've used 2 metal poles, put them in the middle, joined them together. And I'm also using Velcro tie bands. So the safety tie bands you can get. I normally use plastic, but I brought some Velcro ones. They're really good. So I've got that one done. And I'm going to take you over now to 2 other raised beds that I said I was going to use. So this raised bed here has got my Kelvin and Wonder peas in. I haven't had a chance to cover them over yet, so I'm hoping the birds won't touch them, and I might be able to get up here tomorrow night to cover them over. But I've covered over my kale because this is a raised bed. I seem to get an animal comes in and he likes to use it as a lavatory. He basically does its dirty in here and then goes off. So I've covered that over with the remaining black netting, and then I've used some green netting that I had lying about. I've got more at home in my shed, but as you can see, so those have now been planted out as well. So I've had a really productive day because I've also been up to the council tip to dump a load of stuff as well. So I'm going to go home in a minute, but what I'm going to do in a minute, I'm going to tell you about a series that a friend of mine called Mike Troddy is doing, and hopefully when I get a lot of good potatoes this year, fingers crossed, he's going to do his series on that, and I'll explain all about that to you guys in a minute. Right guys, I've got a guy from work called Michael Trod, and he's got his own TikTok channel. The TikTok channel is called Vive la Troddy, and he likes to do these kind of events. He calls them series. So he's done one, the first one he did, called the Spud series. So it was taking a jacket potato and having something on it different every day. So he would start on the Monday and normally finish on the Friday or the Saturday. It would be basically a jacket potato every single day, but have a different flavor, have a different sort of topping on it. And then he would review all the jacket potatoes he's had through the week, review the toppings and decide which topping he liked the best. He's at the moment been doing the pie review. So he's had a different pie each day. He's been reviewing that. As I've said, if you go onto his TikTok channel, Vive la Troddy, you can see it on there. But what he's hoping to do is, if my potatoes come up this year, they have done every year, but hopefully the varieties that I'm going to be planting out, I've got 8 different varieties this year, pushing the boat out more than I normally do. I'm going to give him, if depending on what size they are, I'm going to give him a potato from each variety. He's then going to add his topping, but at the same time he's going to say which variety of potato he rated or rates the best. So once I get my potatoes out, which will be the first earlies will be the end of March, second earlies middle of April, and the main crop end of April. Once I get them up and once they produce potatoes, fingers crossed, he's going to do his review. This one is going to be the spud review 2.0, because the first one was 1.0. But as I've said, guys, check out his TikTok challenge and have a look at what he's done already. As I've said, he's done the spud series 1.0, and this week it's the pie review. I will put his channel name on the video so you can take a look, and hopefully, fingers crossed, he's gonna watch the video that I upload, and then he's going to give my channel a mention on his channel. But I'm all done for now, guys. As always, thanks for watching and subscribing to my videos. As always, I'm going to give a shout out to some of the channels that I watch and subscribe to. So obviously, big shout out to Terry's Allotment Garden on a Budget. He always looks at my videos and always gives me good comments and feedback about how I'm doing my videos, what they're like, the content that I'm supplying. So yeah, big shout out to Terry. Cheers for subscribing, Terry. Cheers for commenting and watching my videos. And thank you to everybody else that has subscribed to me and watches my videos. As always, if you know anyone that's interested in this sort of content, they love gardening, then why don't you get them to subscribe to my channel, show them Nick's Veggie Patch, the channel, and if they like it, then they can go onto YouTube, subscribe in the bottom right hand corner. If they like the video, tell them to hit the thumbs up, and that will save the video to likes. As always, guys, I'll see you for another episode of Nick's Veggie Patch real soon. Stay safe, guys. Hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll catch you later. Bye for now.